What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to my channel. I hope you are having a fantastic day today. In today's video, I'm going to be giving my thoughts and opinions on possibly one of the best games I've ever played. And yes, I've played many top-notch games in my day. As you folks read in the title, this game is none other than... No, not you. There you go.
The original Persona 5. Alright, quick disclaimer guys.
I am in no way, shape, or form a god or super fan of the Persona series and Atlus.
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself?
I am also neither a professional game reviewer or journalist. This video will just be personal thoughts on my first Persona 5 playthrough. Everything I loved about the game, and things I didn't like. Here's a little secret though, there aren't many dislikes. I'll slightly spoil certain characters, gameplay mechanics, story plots, and the ending. So if you haven't played the game yet, come back once you have to see if we enjoyed the same stuff. Other than that, if you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like or subscribing for more content like this. I would really appreciate it.
Now back to the video.
So just for a little overview, as most of you all know, Persona 5 originally came out first in Japan on September 15, 2016. Then, roughly a year later, it released in both North America and Europe on April 4th, 2017. Selling better than any other game in the franchise, it was a smash hit, receiving a 93 Metacritic score and an 8.7 user-generated score, with many people saying it was one of the best JRPGs they have ever played. Sounds like a pretty good game, right? Well, funny enough, I didn't give a crap about it when it first came out.
Let me explain. Alright, everyone relax, just settle down.
Let's rewind for just a second. Take a step in my shoes and picture this. The year is 2017, I'm a 16-year-old high school junior, no job yet, I was uncultured, okay? I only had a PS4 with very limited games to play, specifically a genre of games completely different to JRPGs. Of course, I'm talking about G-Fuel chugging, Mountain Dew injecting, first-person shooters. I'm talking the Battlefields, the Call of Duties, the Destinies, you name it. I was so closed off to other genres because in my head I thought, oh, if that game doesn't have multiplayer, I don't want it. Now, don't get me wrong here, I still did dabble on a few single player experiences such as Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us, but besides the mainstream AAA experiences that were released, I never set foot on anything beyond that, let alone a Japanese role-playing game. Boy was I wrong. Now let's head back a little closer into the present day. Roughly around September 2019, recently turned 18, I just started college, already been working for a while, earning my V-Bucks, and, you know, I was feeling a little experimental around that time. I basically had a freedom that I've never had before, which was buying any game at my own leisure. I experimented with franchises that I've never played before, like Final Fantasy.
Nibelheim. How about you? Me? Gungaga.
And Kingdom Hearts.
Donald! No!
We're not free! We do
those are literally some of my favorite games of all time. So while all that was going on, in the meantime, my younger brother started playing a game called
Persona 5.
I knew absolutely nothing about it. He kept raving on how good the game was and was literally begging me to play it. I was a bit intrigued, but I didn't pull the trigger. Until Black Friday, when the game was just $10. I had to pull the trigger now. I have this rule set for myself that whenever I get a new game, the rule is to never start another game until you finish the one that you're currently playing. And as most of you all know, Persona 5 is an extremely long game, especially to my standards. My playthrough easily hit 100 hours and I didn't even try hard to stretch the time or anything. I really believe that this game is an extreme bang for your buck and loaded with content. Throughout November 2019, all the way to the present day, between school and work, I played the game whenever I had some free time. I never really had a long sit-down session with the game because when I first started playing, I honestly wasn't getting hooked. Here and there, I would work on progressing in the story because I was motivated by the fact that if I wanted to start another game, I would have to finish this one first. But after around 25 to 30 hours into my playthrough,
Everything changed.
The story in this game is honestly so damn good. After finally finishing the game, thinking back at it all just amazes me. Persona 5's setting takes place in a modern depiction of Tokyo, where you the player, aka Joker, gets transferred to a new school after being wrongfully accused for a crime. Over time, you and other students awaken a new power, ultimately becoming the Phantom Thieves. The first few hours were rough for me, I can't lie. It was because I didn't have any connection with these characters, and I was getting thrown off by a style of gameplay that I wasn't used to. But after I got over the initial learning curve, oh my gosh, let me tell you, it was so damn exciting to see what would happen next.
Nice.
Something that I was dreading to play completely changed overnight and hooked me. Now I was spending way longer playing the game with each sit down because I just wanted to know where this story was heading. A group of teenagers trying to steal and change the hearts of corrupted adults. On paper, it sounds cliche, but when you actually play the game and begin to understand these characters, you really see how well this story unfolds. Speaking of which,
That reminds me of my next topic.
if it wasn't for how great the developers portrayed all the characters, I know it wouldn't be as successful of a game as it is today. I mean, damn, I'm making a video about it roughly 4 years after release. The characters make Persona 5 such a great experience because they feel so authentic and unique. Within the Phantom Thieves, we have Joker, Ryuji, An, Morgana, Yusuke, Makoto, Futaba, and Haru. And a special shout out to Akechi, Sai, and Sojiro, literally making one of my favorite cast of characters in any game I've played.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
With my personal favorites being Joker, Ryuji, and Makoto. Funny enough, Atlus really made me originally hate Makoto and Akechi because of the beginning of their stories. First, Makoto being a teacher's pet, snitching on us every time we moved, and Akechi being an ace detective with a furious drive to take down the Phantom Thieves. Fast forward 50 plus hours later, and I end up loving both of these characters. With Akechi joining our group, we all know what happens there. And Makoto becoming my girlfriend.
Okay. Oh, yes, I want you to have.
The confidant system gave all these characters so much more life. Yes, some confidant storylines are better than others, but a majority of them are very solid. There was such a strong incentive to hang out and learn these characters' lives. Each confidant had a maximum of 10 levels, and each time you leveled them up, not only would they confess more about themselves to you, but you would also have a chance to obtain an in-game battle advantage, a cool skill or attack that you can use during combat. It's insane. And there's even another layer on top of the confidant system, which are relationships. If you can get to a high enough rank with a female confidant, you can actually get into a relationship with them. In my playthrough, I managed to get into a relationship with Makoto. I didn't even know that was a thing in the game until it happened. And then, I reached the final confidant level. We all know what happens next, boys.
So you see, well, I was thinking maybe we could study some things we don't have experience in yet. Would that be okay? I want to be with you.
The combat mechanics were different for me. This game uses a turn-based fighting system, which is something that I haven't experienced since my early days with Pokemon. At first, I wasn't too much of a fan. For some reason, it felt boring and slow. But 100+ hours later, I now realize it was because I didn't know how to play the damn game.
Why are you gay?
Mastering the combat mechanics is an amazing feeling. Building up all your stats, gaining new personas, skills, arranging your squad to your liking, all of it. Halfway throughout the game, I was walking into battles like a champ, figuring out what the opponent's weakness was and then performing a flashy all-out attack. Some fights were definitely harder than others, but for the most part, I found it enjoyable. Messing around with the personas in the Velvet Room was also a really interesting feature. You have the ability to create new personas by fusion and a whole other pile of options. This game gives you an almost infinite amount of gameplay opportunities and choices that I've never experienced before. Every time I reached a new palace, it felt like I was in a completely new chapter of the story, whether it was a new hideout location for the Phantom Thieves, or a new member joining the team. I was progressing with the characters every time we hit this quote-unquote new chapter. In hindsight, every palace had the same goal: steal the treasure, aka the heart of that palace's ruler. But the way that Atlus delivered these new locations is what made it all the more special. Each palace had its own unique set of puzzles, challenges, and secrets that you can spend hours on. On top of all that, each palace also had their own unique set of enemies, also known as shadows, which can be captured and used in your own arsenal personas. My two favorite palaces were Futaba's and Sai Nijima's. When it came to Futaba's palace, it was something completely different from what we have experienced so far in the story. Instead of going into the mind of a criminal like the first three, we actually went into the mind of a soon-to-be Phantom Thief. And on the other hand, with Nijima's, the story was about to finally start adding up. In the beginning of the game, when Joker gets caught by the police, it leaves the player wondering what is going to happen. So the suspenseful feeling to see what would occur was top-notch. The other palaces were great as well, all having their own distinct settings and soundtracks. But, and this is a big but, there was one palace, one in particular, that completely made me lose my sanity. I'm talking about none other than
Okumura's Palace.
I personally did not like this one at all. Besides the somewhat cool space theme, there were many tedious things that annoyed the hell out of me. A majority of it was based around obtaining a director's ID to continue further into the spaceport. The problem with this is the fact that it was a guessing game as to which shadow had that dumb ID. You would fight one enemy, they wouldn't have it. Then you would go to another enemy, they wouldn't have it either. You would keep doing this guessing game over and over until you finally obtain that ID, just to figure out the next 2 to 3 sections of the palace are the same thing. That part just drove me crazy, man. And not to mention, but the music was terrible as well. Just imagine listening to this track looping for hours while you're fighting the same enemies over and over. Now, I do understand that some people are probably fans of this palace, and I'm sorry if I offended you, but these are just my personal thoughts, and I just didn't enjoy that one. Besides that, palaces in Persona 5 are great. In my opinion, the thing that makes this game one of my favorite games ever, the thing that makes this game so memorable, the thing that tops everything, is the style. Whether it be the awesomely unique art style or the amazing soundtrack, it makes the world of Persona 5 so damn good. I just love how the menus look, how they twist and turn every time you click something, the way the calendar moves every time a day has passed, and all the extremely enjoyable anime cutscenes that Atlus has sprinkled in throughout this experience. All of these things are then layered by an absolutely beautiful soundtrack. If it wasn't for this soundtrack, I wouldn't have enjoyed this game nearly as much. These songs give the world of Persona 5 such a smooth and soothing atmosphere. 100 plus hours later, and I still love all the music. It never got repetitive to me. Some of my favorite tracks are Wake Up, Get Out There, Life Will Change, Beneath the Mask, and last but not least, Layer Cake. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many other great tracks that I have personally saved in my own playlist. Now after finishing the game, listening to these tracks over again and looking at the art style gives me a strange feeling of nostalgia.
Especially after experiencing
The ending portion of Persona 5 was definitely my favorite hour spent with the game. So many twists and turns were occurring once I hit the depths of Mementos. From taking a glance at the god of control for the first time, to watching the Phantom Thieves almost get Thanos'd. It was a roller coaster of emotions. The ending boss battle literally almost made me crap my pants. It went from this mechanical ball thing to a damn demigod the size of a skyscraper. And holy crap, the moment when everyone was screaming the Phantom Thieves' name and Joker awoke that godly persona had me like...
A few moments later.
I was freaking out. And then...
bang.
The Phantom Thieves did it again. They saved Tokyo. If you've played this game, which I'm sure you have since you made it this far in the video, you know what happens next. You turn yourself in as the leader of the Phantom Thieves, knowing that your friends will be safe in return. With the hard work from your team, Sai Nijima then secures you a way out and you finally get your own justice. You're free. Just in time before having to head home soon because your charges are now lifted. These final days really hit me the hardest. From spending Valentine's Day with your girl, to saying your final farewells to the crew. Especially the goodbye to Sojiro, that one really got me.
Hurry up and go. Yeah.
The feels were really hitting at this point of the story. After this long and crazy journey, it's finally time to go home. It's been nearly a year since you first stepped foot in LeBlanc. All the ups and downs, all the friends you've made, and all the enemies you've made will soon all become a memory. This is the true ending to this incredible journey. And that is why I believe that this game is still truly a masterpiece. Even almost 4 years after the original release, Persona 5 tops so many other games that I've played in my life. And for that, this game will definitely be placed on my top 5 list of all time. Thank you all for tuning into this video. It would mean the world if you can hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. I worked extremely hard on this video, typing an almost 8-page long script. But before you go, let me know in the comments what your favorite character in Persona 5 is, and if I should play any other Persona game in the future. I have heard good things about Golden, so let me know if I should play that one. Well guys, thank you once again for watching, and take care. Peace.